Hello, everybody, and welcome back. All right, so you guys had your short rest, and things went well. While you were having your short rest, though, let's all rest now. Was any one person more on watch than anybody else, than everybody else, or were you guys all just kind of using your passive perception?
I thought Stalball would always be on alert during the race.
The drunk guy?
Yeah.
He's
I would
now... Well, yes.
I would offer to be on watch if necessary.
Stalball will try. If you want to say, no, you're drunk, Stalball, I'll do it instead.
I wouldn't be like that so forward. I would just say I would prefer to be on watch.
Go ahead.
And then I would kind of take over. I would take whatever rest. I would just go like walking around the area, patrolling, eating a snack like quietly as I looked around the surroundings.
Okay, perfect. And so you are doing that. Roll for me then a perception check, please, and thank you. Oh, you didn't Derek it. Oh, natty 20! All right, awesome, beautiful. So, with your natural 20, with your total of a 23 perception, sir, you are able to walk around and try to keep an eye on things. One of the things that you notice out here is that some of the plants grow very, very strangely. Plants like you've never seen before. Like the way that the trees grow, once again, with like all of those like heavy, dense, what are they called? Like brush and what growing around them, but still somehow able to go. There's almost like a seaweed that can grow inside the swamp water itself. The swamp water always seems to be moving, with the bugs and the various other things that are inside there. There's what are they called? Old tree stumps that are like thick hunks of bark that are growing around, not growing around, but like old stumps of like trees that must have fallen or whatever, that are still sitting there, aging slowly over time all over the place. I mean, it's just, this place is very, very, very alive, and at the same time, very, 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 very dead. It's a little concerning. One of the things that you do notice while you walk around and looking, though, is that one particular area of the swamp, despite the fact that it is so moist and wet everywhere, there's burn marks around there. Like, really, really big char marks. Do you go over to investigate it any further? It's near the camp, so it's not like you're going to be outside of earshot or anything.
Still, I would play it safe, and I would, before I investigate, I would go back to the camp and say, hey, this is what I see, I want to go investigate. Keep an ear out.
Stalball comes with.
Well, you probably shouldn't go alone, yeah.
Okay.
Burn marks could be magic. You don't know shit about magic, right? Come on.
Style boy, do you want to send up a flare if you see any trouble?
Yeah.
Firebolt.
I
Yeah.
don't have firebolt. It would be a magic missile.
It's an expensive.
Really?
I don't have anything that's a cantrip. So
You don't have like a ranged cantrip? That's
I
fine.
have frostbite. No, I can toll the dead. I can make a gong.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a very painful gong, but still.
Yeah.
I won't look at you while I do it.
No. All right, so anyway, I thought the gong was something that could only be heard by the person you're casting it on.
That's up to you, I guess.
I'm pretty sure the only person that could hear it is the person that's being
All right,
cast.
I'm
It
going with,
doesn't
and I'll
say that
cast Firebolt.
explicitly, so I was never.
I was gonna say, why doesn't
Using
Luca
that.
or I go instead then?
Yeah, I was about to say,
They
well,
can
if
communicate.
Luca's going to go as well, then it might as well be all of us, so it's just
well,
one of those two instead.
I'll stay then.
Okay.
All right,
Luca
I'll
and
go.
Riker are going to go and investigate it further. So you guys go over there to walk into the
You
area.
failed your Arcana check.
And like I said, you guys are walking around and looking at the various, burn marks are all over. The area itself is large. Could both of you guys roll me an investigation check, please?
Investigation. What is this?
You're investigating.
That's fine. I like investigation.
I'm not Batman at all.
This is why you should have brought stuff.
I have a +4.
I have a plus fucking
You rolled
8.
garbage.
I just
have a
roll
plus-
bad.
Yeah.
+1, like a boss.
Should
Absolute
have
garbage.
asked for an Arcana check.
It's funny because I saw your 6 pop up after the 13, but I only saw Eric's dice pop up on the screen. Yours never did. So, it's funny.
So I should re-roll.
No. So you got your, you guys are walking around looking, and so like I said, there's char marks that extend out for a decent sized area and whatnot. Honestly, it looks like maybe a bolt of lightning hit this area. That's probably what caused it. But beyond that, you don't see anything that stands out or anything that like kind of jumps at you. As a matter of fact, Luca himself isn't even able to put the bolt of lightning 2 and 2 together. He's thinking that maybe it was a fire, or maybe there was some sort of battle, or who knows. He's kind of perplexy because of a few different theories. But Reich is like, no, this looks like a bolt of lightning hit a tree. I've seen it in the blasted lands down in Dargun before. You know, sometimes there's a tree by itself in the middle of the field. Lightning hits it, it leaves these similar kind of char marks. Nothing.
Yeah, but what's the tree cover look like here?
The tree cover is actually pretty dense, but you know how lightning is. It doesn't always go for the tallest object. That's just usually what it goes for, right? It goes for whatever pulls the conduction down.
I'm gonna try to check the closest bunch of trees and see if any of them seem to have suffered like a severe amount of lightning damage.
Sure.
What would that be?
Same thing.
What do I need to roll? Is it another investigation?
Mhm.
All right, let's see if
I would assist, but I feel like my assisting would give you disadvantage with my first roll.
Okay.
Hey,
So,
a little better.
with your 15, sir, you are looking around, and this seems to be the only area where a big bolt of lightning struck down. And I only say big because it's a bigger area that has charring than you would expect with the fact that the area is so wet. You know what I mean? Wet does conduct electricity, but doesn't necessarily allow for burning to happen very easily.
Yeah.
But there doesn't look like anywhere else that you could see in a short radius of searching has been hit by lightning. So, not like there's a big cluster of bolts struck. Just one. Or
I
many
go over
in
to
this
Luca.
one spot.
I go over to Luca and say, I think I need to get Kieran's expertise out here.
Because of there's lightning damage to a tree?
This lightning does not look like it was naturally created, or at least that's my expectation.
I look
I want
around and
her
I go, sure.
So yeah, I go back and I get Kieran.
I'll
So
just be,
it's
I'll be sitting at the
say
tree.
out loud that like a tree got struck by lightning.
No, you guys, enough time has passed while you're investigating. You go back and get them, and they're already finished cleaning up, the camp or whatever.
And I say, before we head out, we should check something out, Kieran. I wanted you to look it over. And Stalbor, I believe that both of you would be of assistance here. There appears to be a scorch mark caused by lightning, but I cannot tell if it was magical lightning or natural.
Did Kieran sneeze?
Ha, funny.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I know lightning, like it's natural or not natural.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
familiar
why
with the
not take a
pattern.
look, right? Maybe
Mhm.
these explorers got turned into dust by lightning.
Kieran, you can roll me, while you go over there, you already rolled once and it didn't work, so you and Ollie can both roll me a normal Arcana check. Nobody else can because they don't have a background for it.
Nope. I have an Arcana background.
No, you
Nope.
don't, not for this. So,
Lightning.
Kieran, you once again, nothing. It just looks like lightning struck the tree. You can easily see it looks like maybe a thunderstorm just hit this one spot multiple times, or just a particularly large or energetic bolt of lightning hit the area. Ollie, same conclusion. However, something is reminded of you, an old folklore, an old legend from before. That as soon as you kind of come to realize it, and you spend your time investigating and looking at different things and looking at like the rotting plants and whatnot and everything, all of a sudden, like your mind goes in high alert as you remember this old legend, this old folklore. It's never been proven. You don't know whether or not it's true or not. But there's an old legend that deep in dense swamps, if a strong enough bolt of lightning or a magically enhanced bolt of lightning hits the right spot, the right amount of rotting with the right amount of life hidden underneath, then it's actually the birth of a shambling mound.
We should maybe step rather far back. Let's go. Let's just leave this swamp right now. Lightning made
Why?
monster. Lightning made monster. We shall leave.
We can
Before,
kill the
Monster.
before you guys continue with the RP bit, one of the other things you want to remember, Stalbor, is that if it were to be a shambling mound, the likelihood of being able to discern it from its natural
Is
fauna-
very low.
Sorry, flora. Yeah, is very, very low.
Which is why I would just be saying, get away. Like monster. Have you ever heard of a shambling mound? If you haven't, it's exactly as described. It's a mound that shambles. Oh, and it eats people. So.
Well, why don't we take care of it?
That's probably what killed these people and took the research.
Well, yeah,
It's just
that's
a
what
wild
we're here.
beast. We're not even at our location yet. If it is, we can go back. If not, we might just die to a bunch of vines that want to eat us.
I'm going to go one step further, only because you hit that 26. It was a 20 to know the legend. But you got a 26, Ollie, so I have to give you a big old pat on the bum.
Ooh.
Nothing like sexual harassment in the workplace. So, Ollie, you know one more thing about shambling mounds. What gave them life continues to energize them in life. Electricity doesn't just not harm them.
Oh,
It heals them.
Yeah,
It energizes them.
Okay, I'd just be like, Kieran, you want to kill this thing? You can't. So,
Why not?
it was caused by a bolt of lightning. You are a bolt of lightning. You will just feed it fuel to the fire.
I have other things. Thunder is also a thing.
I have so many things.
Lightning.
He just kind of like stops and looks at you for a second.
I have other things.
I don't want to get eaten by a plant. I would lose a bet back in Aeronel if I did.
Well, if you truly think that this is a danger, then perhaps we should just continue onward and keep on
Yes.
watch.
Good idea. Keep your eyes out. But
Alright,
bear in
well-
mind, it blends in.
Alright,
Yeah.
so let's do that. I guess worst case scenario, if we encounter any of the orcs, like, we can let them know. That seems right up their alley.
That would be smart.
Or maybe offer to help them kill it. If they can locate it.
Bunch of fucking hippies.
What is a hippie?
Yeah.
Describe to me the hobgoblin history of the word
where's
hippie.
off? Is
They sit-
hippie a
in the-
goblin word?
Eric, you're breaking immersion, and she's calling you out for it, buddy.
They sit in the woods, they do drugs, and they are a waste on society. Our people have perfected war. They have ruled this continent, and what have the orcs done? They sat in the woods and made up false gods. That's a hippie.
I think you find all your gods are false, right?
I don't think that's true at all.
Your gods are kraken. We know they're real.
My god's not a kraken.
I imagine we're leaving while we're arguing about nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gone.
It's like,
We're
yeah,
just
I
chatting
worship
as
the
we
12, the 6, and the 1.
So you continue on with your trek
I
until you
worship the
finally
number
find the
3.
area that would be where the research was. And you actually are able to find out where it is because you were able to eventually come across as you're walking and Luca is smacking himself in the back of the head, which again just hurts so much because he's so much stronger than he was. But luckily he's so much stronger than he was, so he's more resilient to it. But man, when he slaps, it's like it hurts. Like it's like, dude, that's loud. Stop doing that next to my ear.
That's the most Luca thing ever. He's hurting himself trying to kill mosquitoes because he doesn't know how strong he is.
So
Yeah.
But again, like it's not like it actually harms him because he has more muscle mass. Moving on. So as he's like walking on, he slaps himself in the back of the neck to kill a bug that was landed on there. He steps forward and stumbles and steps on something that actually makes him slip a little. And he catches himself. He doesn't like hit the ground or anything. He slips a little and like aggravated with the situation, turns back to see what the hell he slipped on, a slippery rock or whatever it is. But no, it was actually a bit of muck and moss growing on the back of a book.
Ooh, I picked that book up immediately.
You pick the book up and you look at it. God, it is saturated and has been for who knows how long, at least several days. And you kind of like wiping the gook off of the book, the cover of it, and then kind of like when it's not really working because it's more smearing it, you do a little incantation and just it kind of all goes off of the book. Now, it doesn't fix the book, it doesn't help it, but it does
cleans
clean
it.
it. So the cover is like wet, waterlogged and soaked and whatnot. But one of the things does stand out in your mind. It has a gorgon on the cover. It's hard, it's bulbous and hard to see at first, but then you realize, no, there is a Gorgon on the cover of this book.
Karen! Karen! Karen?
What?
Gorgon.
What do you want?
And he holds up the book. You probably don't even see that it's a Gorgon right away, obviously, because of the way it was described. But he's like, Gorgon. And he goes to hand you the book.
Yeah. Do you remember what house is the Gorgon, Luca?
It's like, well, wasn't there something in your notes about a Gorgon?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you weren't here last week.
You watched the VOD.
Oh, I completely.
I
did
shake
forget
my
that.
head.
I forgot that. Yeah,
Well,
never mind.
That was
Luca.
literally your hints. That was literally 2 weeks ago, you being like, I feel like she's up to something.
So I hold up the book and I show it to Luca. Like, Luca, the Gorgon is a symbol of House Cannith, one of the 12 Dragonmarked houses.
Yeah, I know
All
that.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Yes, that is.
Like, just turn and
Yeah.
stare at Luca. Right?
Moving on. So,
Moving on.
apparently,
Well, can
Mike has the memory of a goldfish.
Right remembers,
kinda
like,
I'll hand it to the style board. I'll be like, this is the research, right? Or part of it.
I'll cast mending on it and try and read it as much as I can.
Okay. Throw it into chat for me real quick.
My spell book.
Chat for me, sir. The spell is single break or tear in an object you touch, single chain, 2 halves of broken key, torn, clack,
I don't
or a
think it would.
leaking water skin. As long as the break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in dimensions, you can mend it, leaving no trace of former damage. The spell can physically repair magical items or constructs, but the spell cannot restore magic to such an object. However, it is not going to ring out waterlogged and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Eh.
you are going to be able to do the repairs and everything as much as possible. However, unfortunately, so much of the ink has run off of this. This is actually where I don't even think it exists in 5e, which is kind of a good thing for a DM. But make whole, oh god, that's a creamy spell.
I think it exists
I mean-
specifically if you're using some other. Yeah, but yeah.
Yep.
Cannith
So,
itself, being the house of making, can probably fix this better than we can. I just want confirmation that is in fact some of the research we're looking for.
so going through it and doing the best you can. Roll me an investigation, actually with advantage, because you guys did clean it off very well. You do see that there is notes written in there talking about types of wood. It looks like it's saying. Yeah, God, it's so hard to read what it's saying. And looking for types of wood, good for infusing with magic. It says at some point in time, and kind of like various notes like that. As a matter of fact, one of the other things as you're flipping through the pages, it's really hard to make out what it is. But after spending a couple of minutes like searching at it, and with a 24 investigation, kudos Ollie, you'll be able to see. No, this is a diagram right here. Oh, is it for an appendage of a warforged, maybe? An arm? No, actually, this kind of looks like the diagram for a wand. It looks like a diagram for a type of wand for enchanting with magic. It's really hard to make out the rest of the book. But while he's doing that, while he's investigating that, everybody else who's in the area, does either A, anybody want to keep look, B, anybody want to continue investigating the area, or C, pick your butt.
I'm gonna investigate the area to look see if I find any more books similar to the one I slipped on.
Roll me an investigation, normal, Eric.
I would help investigating.
Okay, and ladies last.
I'm also gonna help investigating.
Cool. So nobody's keeping watch. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
gonna get shot with an arrow that explodes. I'm so good at investigating, guys. Like, I'm so good.
Wicked good.
I'm reading a book.
The best.
The best. Huge.
So, Reich,
You wanted to roll an investigation, right?
Yes, I did. But
He's trying not to Eric it, but his impulse is just so strong. He's like, how do I resist this tempting urge?
I am Eric, therefore
it's
I
being
must.
slow. I swear. I
How
want
is
to
he
do
going
it
to
so
handle
bad.
this when he's DMing on Monday? How is that even going to...
I don't know.
Oh, that's a very fucking valid point, mate.
Oh, God.
What
We're
the?
gonna have to fill a lot of dead air.
I know. Oh,
You're gonna
God.
die. That's what's gonna
Oh, does
happen.
it dance?
And it's a very Eric roll. Okay.
We waited all that time for that.
Hey, get fucked.
I want my money back. I want my money back. All right, so moving on. You guys are looking around the area trying to find out what you can. Luca, you eventually do find other bits of paper. So the thing is, like, Rin, what is it? Kieran and Reich are looking around for maybe like a camp or something like that stuff, a place where they would have been ambushed and stuff taken from. You're not doing that. You're literally looking for loose objects, and you find them. You actually find them in several different places. A waterlogged piece of paper with the ink run off here. You know, this looks like some type of like workers' tools over there. Sadly, like, oh, this is like a leather worker's kind of tools are over there, but the wood is already starting to like rot out and is covered in moss and whatnot, and is no good. The metal parts are, you know, functioning, but they're rusted, so they're not quite opening and closing the right way. You do find various little things scattered about with your method of looking. Nothing that tells more tale. You know what I'm saying?
I would bring them back to like Karen or Stalbor even. Be like, how long ago did they say these groups came out here?
Kieran, no.
Does Karen remember?
Kieran doesn't remember.
It was a few days ago was the most recent group, but there were 3 different groups in total. The first research group, the second research group, and then the adventure group that went to go find them. The adventure group was a couple of days ago. What did he say, 5 days ago, I think it was, or 4 days ago?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
2 days travel each way, yeah.
Yeah, that.
I'd be like,
and they had a sending stone, so they were supposed to be able to maintain communication.
And they weren't able to.
they seem a bit worse for wear for only being several days old. I mean,
this forest isn't a normal forest. I believe it's.
I mean, things decay faster in this type of environment.
I also.
Yeah, absolutely. But
manifestation zone.
Oh, also, Spellbore.
Yeah.
If they had a sending stone on them, would it be possible for you to sense magical auras and maybe find that?
It would take a long time.
I mean, there's lots of stuff right here. And then Luca's gonna start casting detect magic.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll take.
That's exactly what I was asking for without asking for it.
I know.
I know.
Everyone knows.
I'll mend all the things and I'll put them in Reich's bag of holding. So the Canif bag.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna sit there.
So they're all in the same place.
Keep mending things and putting things inside the.
Basically, yeah.
Cool.
If Luca finds a thing, I'll fix it a little bit as much as I can. Like I can't make it not.
Yeah, like I press the digitation, hand it to him. Yeah. He's mending. Boom.
Yeah. Also, if we're finding shit here, and they were attacked by the shambling mound, then that shambling mound's probably nearby. So we should probably look out for that.
Right. Sorry, Stalbor. Since you informed them of everything, do you actually know how a shambling mound, what they do with their foes?
I assume they kind of turn them into compost, right?
Yeah, they don't shambling mounds don't have functioning mouths. They can just kind of take the bodies and put them against their own and kind of shamble around them.
Stalbor's been saying eat just because it's way simpler.
Yep.
But, yeah.
So there would be no bodies left behind and really no clothing left behind in theory.
Okay, I'll say well, Kieran, yeah. If there was a shambling mound, we wouldn't see anything of them. They'd be one with the mound.
Okay. So you guys are doing exactly what you're saying, and Luca, you actually do come across pings of magic. And so looking around, you have a bit of a hard time searching for it, but eventually you do find there are two very, very faint auras of magic in the muck, and one slightly brighter one. I imagine you go for the slightly brighter one first.
Yeah.
Okay. You go for the slightly brighter one, and you actually, after kind of digging through the muck a little bit, you can find, because again, things just kind of slop down slowly into the swamp as they sit there, right? As creatures walk by, so on and so forth. You eventually pull out what looks to be like a tankard or like a mug, like a drinking mug. It's glowing magic.
He'll probably do a little he'll press the digitation and clean it off to see if it says anything or has any symbols on it.
Yep. So just like most things that are created by the house at the bottom of the tankard, for this one in particular, it's not like the bottom down here. It's actually the bottom of the handle on the tankard.
Yeah.
It has the seal of House Cannith on it, more or less meaning that it's of Cannith make. But overall, the symbol emblazoned on the side of the mug is that of a frothing beer. So it's like a nice mug with the side of it being a frothing beer. It's comprised of stone.
Can I do an Arcana check on it?
Yes, you can to find out what school of magic it is.
Well, I would know what school, wouldn't I, from Detect Magic?
It doesn't tell you instantly the school, though, does it?
I think Detect
It lets
does.
you see
it's
the
not
aura.
like the old days. It actually immediately lets you know. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be transmutation is the school that's on there, and your Arcana check tells you nothing else.
Yeah. Okay. I would get that, and then go gather the other 2 smaller ones before going back to Stalbor.
Okay, the other smaller ones are really hard to find because you have to like dig for a while in the bucket. And then when you thought you like had gotten to it, you're like, oh no, now it's over here. And eventually, when you finally spend all the time it takes to like find them, you're like, prestidigitation. Oh, 2 more of those droplets that look like water.
I guess after all that work, I'm gonna just pop one of those in my mouth.
Oh, well, there you go. It's actually abso-fucking-lutely amazing. No, I'm not even trying to exaggerate here. The cleanliness of this water, how refreshing it is, almost a slightly sweet, natural taste to it. It is really good. Whatever composition of minerals it has inside this water is amazing. It's so good. And since you can see the school that's on it, it's not illusion or anything to trick you into what it tastes like. This is actual water that's been condensed down into this one little droplet. This is natural water that's being held tiny. You love it.
I imagine Reich or Stalbor watch me like reach into the depths of the swamp, pick up this thing, and just kind of pop it in my mouth, and they're just like, there's like fucking humans.
Kieran, Luca's going native.
It's like reach out to stop you for a moment, then when you die, it's just
I'm not hallucinating, am I?
I would bring I'd bring it to actually. I'd like start walking towards Stalbor, like and then turn toward Kieran and start walking toward her. Actually, be like, look what I found.
So you bring me like a cup, a bead, and what else?
Well, it's mainly just like it's the cup. It's the cup with a frothing beer on the side, and it has Kenneth on the side. And I say it has a magical tendencies to it.
So I take it from you. Oh, nifty! And then I immediately I toss it to Stalbor. Like, oh, cool.
Stalbor tosses it into Reich's bag.
Okay. He like wipes the sweat off his brow.
The bag.
He leans into Karen. He's like, "You've been worried about him drinking. I didn't know if it had a beer on the side. I thought something with alcohol. I didn't want to give it to him right away. If we're trying to cut him back on drinking some,
I wasn't worried about the drinking. I was worried about
the sass.
No, not the sass. I'm worried about how he's dealing with the death of his friend. He lost Odette earlier, and he lost this guy now. It's a lot in a very quick time span for him.
We should probably just not bring it up.
You think so?
Yeah. You know how like when I found out you knew about my brother, and then I got really mad and I didn't want to talk about it?
I don't know. I wish I had somebody to talk to before when I was going through grief.
Yeah, we're all different.
We're all different, but we don't know. But
just don't talk to him about it.
He's getting worse, though, is the problem. He's not
getting
better. Yeah,
things get worse before they get better.
I don't know if I agree.
Well, I don't think talking about it will cheer him up. I think doing other things to cheer him up will cheer him up.
Don't know if I agree.
He throws his hands up. Hey, Stalbor, that mug had something about beer on it.
Don't promote it. Luca.
Yeah, all these intellectual types really like to drink to take the edge off, huh?
Yeah. Seems like it.
Gross.
I think it's called alcoholism.
I hope you.
That's a long word for you, right?
Oh shit.
Stalbor, what did I say?
You know what isn't a long word for me? Needless violence.
Well,
Stalbor just looks at Kieran and then just like walks off. It's like, I'm going to check for mounds.
Yeah, maybe we should
violence
say violence for the
necessary.
Okay.